Welcome to episode 5 of Ghosts Aren't Real, a podcast where we dive into the...
Oh no.
I don't know what it was, but that was something else.
I'm sorry.
Welcome to episode 5 of Ghosts Aren't Real, a podcast where we dive into the paranormal, discuss our thoughts about it, and our experiences with it. This week, we are talking about Beattie Mansion, the Beattie Mansion.
The Beattie Mansion.
The Beattie Mansion in St. Joe, Missouri.
Is it St. Joe or St. Joseph?
St. Joseph, that's its government name.
Of Mary?
St. Joe Mo is its non-government name.
Or, as two might call it, Atchison's cousin.
Ooh, boy.
Never called it that before.
That's a nice little, not a spoiler, it's a nice little whetting of the appetite.
A little...
The Beattie Mansion in St. Joseph, Missouri. We went there in July, not June, of 2000
I forgot about
2022. Super big house, mansion, if you will, in St. Joseph. Built by Armstrong Beattie, a very famous rich dude from the 1880s. Just overall classic rich guy back then.
He was a banker and a governor and stuff.
Yeah, politician and banker, all that fun stuff. Him and his wife Eliza lived there for a long time, and then Armstrong died of cholera. He did.
It took him.
It took him. And then, let's see. After a while, it became a home for like single moms, the Ladies Benevolent Society, something like that.
Association.
Mm-hmm.
But the picture says society because I couldn't find one that
exactly.
said association.
Yeah, I remember that.
Association.
I remember that. So yeah, it housed moms and their kids, and then homeless people, mentally ill people for a long time, until about like the 1990s, something like that. So almost 100 years. A home for the friendless is what Mary Ann called it, right? Mm-hmm. Mary Ann is the owner, caretaker of the Beattie Mansion, and we went there in July, not June of 2022.
He keeps saying that because I messed up.
I said it twice.
I messed up, and I got the schedule for us to go there wrong.
Why do they make 2 months? 4 letters, and the first 2 letters of both of those months start with the same letters?
I sent him a text message and I said, I didn't say that, but that also is stupid. But I said, why?
Back to back, no less.
Of the 12 months, do 3 of them start with the same letter?
This was like, so we were supposed to leave. It was a Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. Sunday morning, we were supposed to leave pretty early that morning because we had the house from like, it was like early in the afternoon, like 2 or 3, I want to say.
I think it might have been like 5 or 6.
Was it 5 or 6?
Yeah.
We had it until like 8 or 10 a.m. the next morning.
Something
like that. So we were going to leave pretty early to get there in the early afternoon and then get there right at 5 Sunday morning. And then he texted me and said, you know what's crazy about months? And then I immediately was like, oh boy, we messed up here. But then we just went a month later.
If you want to learn more about the Beattie Mansion and our trip there and understand what we're probably going to be talking about tonight, whenever you're watching this, go to our YouTube channel, PLI, maybe type in Beattie Mansion after it, BEATTIE, MANSION. Is that Mansion? Sweet. Thank you. Shanactoclotis, or whatever that mine is.
Iridocyclitis. Classic. That's
anyway,
a good one.
Go there, type that into the search bar. Our video will pop up, and you can watch it. It's longer, so make sure you carve out a little chunk of time to watch it.
Really cool place.
Yeah.
I think overall, just the probably our biggest takeaway from that place is how big it was. It was a mansion. I have no idea how many rooms there were, but it was many.
A lot.
A lot of rooms, a lot of like living rooms, a huge kitchen, a huge dining hall.
Creaky stairs.
Breezeways, like 4 different staircases.
Massive
huge basement with crawl spaces and boiler cabinets and stable bins,
Yeah.
stables. I guess they're just called stables. But yeah, just overall thoughts about it. I mean, the place was huge.
Huge. When we went, it was in July, and it was hot. The place had no AC. What one room did, which was like the main central room, which had a bunch of cameras, which was really cool. That was the only place that had AC, but everywhere else was just like muggy and gross feeling. Not necessarily the place itself, but
Yeah, like it wasn't like dirty by any means, but it was definitely like after a little bit, you could definitely feel the heavy air that you were intaking because it was rough.
yeah. But skipping all the way to the end of the next morning, I was like dead. I was like, I can't. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, there's that morning like
Yeah.
stuffy nose you get, and then combined with sleeping in asbestos all night, stuffy nose. It was brutal.
Sleeping.
We slept.
I didn't, not that well.
Really?
Yeah, only maybe like an hour.
I mean, we only slept for like 3 hours because we finished at like 5 or 5:30, and we woke up at 8.
Yeah,
So 2.5, 3 hours.
I did not sleep well.
I slept surprisingly well.
I was terrified.
Didn't you play worship music on your phone?
Yep.
That was awesome.
I turned on. I think I might have been acoustic worship music on my phone.
That's good stuff.
Well, because underneath the door of the room we were sleeping in, it was like an 8-inch gap.
Wow.
And I kept imagining because the door.
Oh yeah.
The door was going into the kitchen, and the
Yes.
kitchen was an area where there had been reported a lot of activity, and so I just kept imagining like foot shadows walking by. So I was just getting in my own head. So yeah, I didn't sleep well.
So I talking like this.
Oh man, but no, it was a huge place. Very, very much so the biggest place we've been to so far, and for the foreseeable future will be the biggest place.
Yeah,
just because it was two stories plus the huge basement. We definitely, like, thinking back and watching the video, like there's definitely a lot of rooms that we didn't like go into much during the video, and like the basement, we didn't really do a whole lot in the basement. But it was tough though because of how hot it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like your typical Midwest, like nasty, like sticky heat, and then plus you're inside with ceiling fans just blowing the hot air around. With the asbestos, like we felt horrible. So that one room had AC. There was like a home base that had all those cameras set up, like you said, and then the AC unit in there, which was awesome. And then like there was like a little pathway with a bathroom, and then like a bunk room. So that was like the home base area, and we spent a lot of time in there because the AC felt really nice.
yes, it was way better than the 82 to 88 degree we had to spend time in.
The basement wasn't bad though. I mean, obviously it's
it was
cooler,
like
so
still
it was
really
very-
muggy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could definitely feel like you just felt gross, but it was definitely way colder down
Yeah,
there.
I always felt gross too. I still do, just in general.
I wasn't like sick for a long time after that, but I was like, I had some stuff
Yeah,
in my gut,
I think I still do.
probably.
It's probably not from. Well, I think I'm fine.
Aside from like the overall massive size of the place, was there anything else that stood out about this place that was different to other places? Anything else stood out to you?
Other than the Weaver House,
Classic.
that might be the oldest place we've been to.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I think the Weaver House is older, but this might be the oldest place, and that kind of stuck out because in my head, that plays into their history.
Mm-hmm.
Just so many souls, people going in and out of that house throughout the years. Who knows what could get left behind? So
Yeah, and that's what Mary Ann, our tour guide, said too. Or I don't want to call her a tour guide, the caretaker.
Caretaker, yeah. Who also
She
gives
gave us a
tours.
tour.
Yeah.
She was our tour guide for a bit. But yeah, the caretaker, that's what one of her points is in the video, is that like she called it layers. Like there's different layers of people there. It's not just like one particular like group or generation of spirits. It's like
Civil War soldiers.
yeah, Civil War, like in the intro, Civil War
mentally-
soldiers, mentally ill, infirmed people. It just because it was so the house served so many different roles throughout the years. I mean, there were slaves there when Armstrong and Eliza lived in there, and then, like I said, the single moms, and then the mentally ill people,
Kids.
children. Yeah, a lot of that.
I think something else that stuck out to me was just like all the stuff there too.
Yeah.
Like the paintings, is it in the video of you playing the janky piano?
It is not. I have a video on my phone about
Me too.
that, yeah.
Yeah, there's a piano there. It was super out of tune, and you were playing Freebird,
I was.
and it was spooky. Was it Freebird? Yes, it was. I think it was. You also playing.
It was, yeah.
Some other tunes.
Don't touch my LaCroix.
I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Yeah, all this stuff was just really cool too.
That was a good segue into wanting to open our LaCroix. I found mango last week.
Mango.
It's my new favorite.
Really? Mm-hmm. You like that kind of stuff though, like mango, peach.
I'm a sucker for mango and peach.
So you're
big fan of mango.
Interesting. I don't not like it, but that's really cool. I'll try it someday.
I don't know if I like it more than limoncello yet. It's definitely up there, but
You just said it was your favorite.
I did, didn't I?
You did. You can have two favorites.
No, you can't.
Okay.
Maybe subliminally, I like it more. That's why I said it was my favorite. Like Freudian slip, like, oh, it's my favorite. And limoncello was like, hey, what about me? I like it more than limoncello. I'll say it. I don't care that you hurt your elbow.
That's fine.
I haven't had key lime in a long time.
It's so refreshing.
It is good,
It's got like a sting to it.
but I haven't had it in a long time.
I'll bring you one.
I think I like it more than watermelon, but I've had watermelon more recently than key lime.
If you drink LaCroix, you should let us know in the comments, or I'll add another question on the Spotify podcast of what's your favorite LaCroix flavor. And don't tell me anything about you not liking it if you don't like it, because I don't want to hear it.
LaCroix, not a sponsor.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff in the house. Every room was decorated and had just such cool stuff everywhere, except for the rooms that had dolls in it. That was kind of freaky. But Marianne did such a great job because she's a psychic medium, so she is an empath and has like a connection to spirits.
She has a connection to that house.
She has a connection to the house before she even knew about the house.
Yeah, she felt like a calling to go there. It was weird.
So we can definitely talk about that later, but with her empathic abilities, she's able to, like, of the spirits that are there, she knows their names, she knows, what generation they're from, what they like, all that stuff. So, like, each room she showed us, it was like, she was like, hey, this is so-and-so's room. He really likes, harmonicas and suspenders. And so there was like a harmonica, suspenders, and like all that kind of stuff, which is awesome. It is so cool to see somebody that has such care for a place like that and puts that much work into it and like respects the spirits like that. And I know if you watched last week's episode or the last episode, we talked about our thoughts about ghosts and if we think they exist.
Still don't.
Which isn't much of it's not no secret because the podcast is called Ghosts Not Real. So while we have those current feelings about it, it's still so cool to see somebody respect this stuff like that.
If you were on like the fence of believing in ghosts and you met Marianne, that would tip you over and be like, yeah, ghosts are real.
It did for me for a little bit because there's something else that we'll talk about later, obviously. But aside from that, I was super pumped and very excited to investigate. And while I still was those things, there was, after our tour, there was an added level of unsettledness. Unsetting. I was unsettled.
There we go.
After the tour, because of all of the stories she told about every single ghost and every single spirit in every single room, and their names and their experiences. That it was like I was thinking about all those. I was
this is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like as soon as she like said all that, I was just like picturing like all of them like around us, like watching us, and and like not in like a spooky or scary way, but it was unsettling.
It spooked me out.
Yeah.
Yeah. After the tour, we were in the I'll call it the cool room.
The cool room. I like it.
The cool room, and I put I think I had some water in the fridge, or they left water in the fridge for us. And the kitchen was just down the hall, but I had to cross like the super long hallway that connected the two halves of the house. And I stood there for like 30 seconds because I was so afraid to go across that hallway because I kept imagining like, oh my gosh, I'm going to see some ghost. And also the kitchen was known to have like a lot of activity. And I'm like, I don't want to go in there. I got really spooked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of emotions that night. And you were just stone cold.
Stone Cold.
Not even scared at all.
Steve Austin. Oh boy, that was awesome.
Not a sponsor. Ow.
So yeah, the added level of spookiness from all those stories. But one of my, I would consider this a top 5. I can name. I like thinking of it right now. I can name 2. Well, technically 3 occurrences. Anyways, top 5 moment of investigating was when we were downstairs in the caretaker's room. We walked into the caretaker's room and I got hit like somebody like puffed a cigarette and like just exhaled all their smoke right in front of me, hit me in the face. We walked in the caretaker's room and then Marianne started talking and I don't think if she mentioned him smoking until I asked.
Yeah.
We were walking out of the caretaker's room and I asked, hey, do you let anyone smoke in here? And she was like, nope. And I was like, wow, well, I like the of cigarette smell.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh yeah, the caretaker smokes. That
It's
freaked me
odd.
out because I forgot to mention this when we talked about, in our last episode, when we talked about like what would it take for us to believe in ghosts. We're talking about like seeing stuff or hearing stuff. Like different senses that you rely on. I forgot about smell. Like you can't debunk this one. Like I'm sure Marianne probably smokes, but like there wouldn't have been a random short, start and stop of a smell of cigarettes just randomly like that. And she doesn't let anyone smoke in the house. She said the door to that room is always open. And like the strongest smell I've ever, like someone was smoking right next to me.
And that's
Super
weird because
weird.
I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I mean, I've smelled smoke before and I know what it smells like. So that's odd.
I forgot to bring that up in the last episode, and I was bummed about that when I watched the video back, and I was like, oh yeah, because that was such a crazy moment. Top 5,
Probably number 3.
probably number 3. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna ask, what makes you think Marianne probably smokes?
Just that raspy voice that
Oh, yeah.
smokers have.
Okay, well, that's a fair assumption.
It's cool. I wish my voice was raspy.
You can make it.
I wish my voice was raspy. That's a different voice. Oh boy.
Okay. Is there anything else about the house that like jumped out at you other than the stuff and how big it was and the history?
I thought it was really cool that we were at a house that was visited and investigated by Nick Groff from Ghost Adventures.
Yeah.
Because of my introduction into paranormal stuff, I watched Ghost Adventures growing up, and he was one of the main 3 guys. So I was like, oh, no way, Nick Groff was here.
He brought a lamp.
He brought a lamp, haunted lamp.
Yep. And it's there.
It was after he left Ghost Adventures, him and I think it was his wife,
Yeah.
or the investigating duo. But that was super cool. That was like, wow, I'm where he was.
We're doing this. Yeah, I thought that was really cool too. We're doing this. Yeah.
So we started investigating. What we usually do, the first thing we do is take our EMF reader. K2 meter detects fluctuations in electromagnetic fields. It detects electricity. It detects.
There's a typo in this video. If you find it,
Not this video.
Not this video, in the Beattie Mansion video, which you're gonna watch. If you find it, you might have actually. Never mind. If you find it and comment it, I'll send you a heart.
I'll delete my comment.
Okay.
But that's the first thing we do usually because it's a cool tool because it detects electricity. You hold it up to any active wire or outlet, it spikes up, and you hold it up to something that doesn't have electricity running through it. We call it Scranton. What? The electric city. Then it doesn't go off. We've talked about the K2 a lot being like one of the best tools we have because it's not meant to go off like a lot of other like specific ghost hunting devices are. Like electricians use it.
Yeah.
So
It's like a stud finder.
it's a stud finder.
It'd go off twice in here.
We've made that joke in another video, haven't we?
Probably.
Probably.
Of course. It's not even a joke. It's real. It's true.
But anyways, some highlights of our investigation was when we were up in Eliza Beattie's room. There was a chair in the corner, and it was not only going off. It was like sometimes the K2 will like blip. I love that we keep looking back at it.
I'm not. Yeah, I am.
We did at the same exact time. It like blips sometimes, but when it was on the chair, it was like holding at yellow, which was freaky.
Yeah. That
And it was in one spot too, like not all around the chair. It was like in one spot.
and like it would leave and then it would come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we moved it all around the chair and there was nothing around the chair that was electric. So that's hard to explain. And so yeah, it was super interesting. And I think for me too, also upstairs, this is one of those things that freaks me out and is weird. Like just the coincidence of it happening just doesn't make sense to me. But I sat down on like that couch and I set the K2 meter down.
Yeah.
And I mean, you were filming and I was like, hey, if there's anybody, can like anybody come and sit down by me? And within like 3 seconds, it goes,
I think immediately after.
yeah. And then I was like, do you see that? Like what? I know, that's odd. So like it went off a decent amount. It was pretty much only upstairs. I don't really recall it going off anywhere else.
Yeah, I don't remember using it a whole lot anywhere else. I think just because it wasn't in the video because it didn't go off anywhere else.
Okay, other than something that happened within the last month at a specific place, is there anything that would make you think that this K2 meter could be faulty?
No, probably because for the reason that I've said a couple minutes ago of like,
Yeah, you already answered the question I just asked.
yeah, because I said no. I think when it like blips up a little bit, or not even a little bit, when it blips, if it like shoots up to red like super fast and goes back down, I always just dismiss that. What?
Touch my hand.
Why?
Just do it. Oh, wait, let me try that again. Like, hold it there.
Why?
Just do it.
The vine?
Yeah.
what was that for?
I don't know, just fun.
Okay, anyways.
Okay. Because you did the red thing. So it
I
made me
hear
think
ya.
of that, yeah.
So yeah, if it blips up super quickly and goes back down, I just dismiss it because it's like it's whatever. It's cheap. Yeah, it could be faulty, but like the fact that
But when it holds.
when it holds
Yeah.
on something, and we've proven it, like it goes off on outlets and
Refrigerators.
I was gonna say that.
The camera doesn't set it off.
Why do you ask?
Just wanted to know. I agree with you. I don't. Yeah, I don't think it's not.
What did you ask
using.
about the last month? What did that mean? From the
From our
tavern?
phones? Yep. Remember, it was being really
Oh,
weird.
that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. We'll have to, like what we did with the flashlight, we'll have to like time it and like sit down and like figure it out. No, I guess I shouldn't say flashlight, the REM pod.
Yeah.
We'll have to like,
We'll have to figure out why that happened.
yeah.
Because we're all about
I forgot about that.
accuracy when we're investigating things. So if something is faulty, we're gonna figure out why and make sure that doesn't happen again.
Remind me, I need to change the battery the next place we go because I haven't changed the battery in a little bit. Anyways, anything else you want to talk about before our spirit box sessions?
I mean, I'm going to talk a lot about the spirit box
Oh,
session.
yeah.
I don't. I do want to mention. I do want to mention that mask. It didn't play like a huge part in the video. I mean, like we showed it, and she mentioned it, and she talked about how like it. That's like the one thing that makes her feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It wasn't really like that big of a deal in the video, but like there, I felt like it was a lot more of a deal than it was.
True.
Because like it just felt different around the mask. I wish I put it on. But why do you think that mask felt so weird?
I think just because it looks spooky.
It looks spooky. Do you think maybe like Marianne played a part into it? With how
Probably
she reacted?
because she said that she didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I think that the reason why it feels weird is because, how do I want to say this? You know how some people talk about the Sally house and they're like, maybe it's not haunted, but like people have manifested it. Like so many people have gone there so many times and they've like kind of manifested a haunting. That's not, I guess that kind of correlates, but I think just because she said it was spooky and she didn't say anything else was spooky. So that obviously stood out because she wasn't off put by anything else in the house except for that. And it looks weird. What's it? Is it called an African death mask?
It was like an African suffrage mask.
Just, yeah, yeah.
Suffrage or suffering, one of the two.
Like obviously by the name of it, it's like, okay.
Yeah, like who knows? Like she said it could have been a replica, but she doesn't want to like mess with it at all.
She also said that she doesn't know how it got there.
Yeah, which is also weird.
Yeah.
It's like, so who knows? Maybe it's the unknown about it that's why it's so spooky.
Yeah.
Because it's like, who knows what it could have been used for and why it's there.
Do you believe that inanimate objects can, for a lack of a better term, be haunted or possessed?
Something like attached to it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, hold on.
That wasn't like a, really? But just
No. I need to, before I say yeah.
I'm verbally listening. Sure. Yeah.
I think of dolls and
Annabelle.
chairs.
In Zach Bagans' museum.
Mm-hmm.
Fred? No. What's the sailor doll?
What's the dang doll? I deleted those pictures off my phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you like spooky?
No, I was just going through
Oh.
all my photos and I was like, those don't need to be on here.
So there is a doll. Is it in Zach Bagans' museum?
No, that doll's in Florida somewhere.
Yeah, it's in like the castle.
What's
or
its
whatever.
name?
There's a Robert.
Robert the doll.
There's a doll in a location that it's said to be that if you look at its eyes without permission, you will be possessed.
Okay, so that's a different. I'm thinking of Robert's not that.
The other doll
The one that you look at
that
the
is
eyes.
in Zach Bagans' museum, in the doll room.
Yeah.
Either way, there's dolls that are, and then we're not even talking about Annabelle, but there's dolls that if you look in its eyes or if you look at it or say anything bad about it, or after you look at it, you don't say, sorry for looking at you without your permission, then it'll possess you and whatever.
And I think demons could definitely be attached to things or maybe like favor things because I don't know why. I just think so. I don't have any reasoning for it.
Do you think a demon could like take control of a doll and like the doll will just be like walking across the floor?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
That'd be kind of spooky. But also, what if it's like a cute little doll?
Nah.
It's like, oh, it's like jumping rope or something.
Nope.
That would be so spooky.
Nope.
Yeah, I think that's all I really had left about the house was that mask being spooky.
Yeah, it just looks weird, and it was nah.
Yeah.
So our Spirit Box sessions. Spirit Box is a device that ghost hunters use that scans through radio frequencies at a high rate or a slower rate. It sounds like. I should have put batteries in this so we could use this on the podcast. But anyways, scans through radio frequencies at a high rate and or radio stations, and spirits can like pick out words and say them. Sounds pretty goofy when I talk about it. I explained it the other day to my brother who was asking me questions. And when I said that ghosts can use it to pick out words and say them as responses to us, and I was like, that sounds so silly saying that.
It definitely is better to see it used than hearing it explained. Yeah.
And I think the best example we have of the Spirit Box is this video, the Beattie Mansion video, because we did an open Spirit Box session, which means that we turned on the Spirit Box and we let it play and we asked it questions, and like let it play through its speaker so you could hear it on the camera. We also use the Spirit Box to do the Estes method, which is a spirit box session, but instead of an open, it is one person has headphones attached to it and they have a blindfold on, so they're sensory deprived. The other person asks questions, and the other person who's listening responds to the questions with whatever they hear on the spirit box. So at the Beattie Mansion, excuse me, it's the asbestos. We did an open spirit box session. You have a comment about your LaCroix.
I do. I cannot believe something that tastes this good can have no calories in it.
No sweetener.
And it's Whole30 approved?
Whatever that means. That sounds good.
It only has carbonated water and is naturally essenced. That's impressive. I don't want anybody to mention anything about cockroach poisoning.
Has somebody mentioned cockroach poisoning to
Yes.
you? Really?
There's like a lawsuit or something.
Huh.
Who knows?
Darn.
I'm going to keep drinking it.
My favorite thing about our spirit box sessions at the Beattie Mansion were, one, because you could hear them on the video. I like that. I think I've said it a couple times before. I don't like when people use spirit boxes in their videos and you can't hear it, because the skeptic in me is how they could be making up whatever they're hearing and saying it. But having the open session, you guys can hear it. And the Beattie Mansion in particular was a great example because of how well you could tell the differences between a song or even like a DJ and then not.
And then the words that are coming through that are clearly something talking to us.
Yes. Because like very clearly, like there's a few times going through the session, there was like 3 songs that like you just hear like a note of, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I know what that song
Yeah.
was. There's like the bum, bam, bum, bam.
Yeah.
I heard
I remember
like
that one too, yeah.
all it was like a
Yeah.
one note, and I was like, I know what that song was. And then also one that you responded to, I'm going up to the
I remember that. I was like,
fire,
why did I mention that?
somebody to keep,
Or it's like, I'm going up is what it said.
somebody to love.
Yeah.
Is that the same song?
I don't know.
But you can tell that's a song, and you can tell when a DJ is talking about the song or whatever his spiel is. And then there's like very clearly words outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
We love using the spirit box because we get intelligent responses back. With all of our other devices and things that we do, it's mainly yes or no questions is like the biggest ability we have of like, say if you mean yes, touch this and turn the light on, or if you mean no, then cross these rods together. But this is very cut and dry. Like we can ask questions like what's your name? Like something as broad as that. So I love it.
And here at the Beattie Mansion, it shined, in my opinion. And
Agreed.
we got a lot of crazy answers. Which one stuck out to you the most?
There's one that I want to talk about a little bit later. But the first one that stood out to me is the I want your body. I can't remember what question we asked right before that. I just watched it, but I can't remember what it was.
I said, hey, we're about to...
Oh, yeah.
It was literally the ending, like, hey,
Yeah.
we're about to end this. Is there anything else you want to tell us? And it was so fast.
Yeah, it's like, anything else you want to tell us? And then like 2 seconds later, I want your body. And like, that gave me chills just now.
It's weird. It's weird. Whatever... I think in that place, based on this spirit box session and also the Estes sessions we did, there were a lot of spirits,
Yes.
ghosts, demons, stuff talking. But especially during that open spirit box session, something which one of my conclusions was why is there always something taunting in the basement? I don't know. But whatever taunting spirit that has been experienced by other people there also was messing with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We heard 3 laughs that night.
Yeah, 2 or...
I think it was 1 in the open session. I heard 1 in my Estes session. I thought you heard 1 too.
I didn't hear a laugh. I think it was just 2.
Okay. But still, laughs aren't that common, and they're very distinct too. Like, especially the one I heard in the Estes session. I really wish that was somehow... I wish we could get a splitter. I've talked about this before. Like a double input, like an 1/8 inch that has 2 eighth. You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And like one of them goes to a recording device and the other one is me. And then we listen back to it later. Anyways, but the laugh that I heard on my Esta session was like so like long and drawn out. And we have the rate that we listen to the Spirit Box is pretty quick. It was slower than usual in this video. But it was still like and then the laugh that I heard was like it was so drawn out over several different radio stations, and that's why I think I ended my session because I was like, I'm not.
Yeah,
doing
because
that.
before that you were touched by something.
Yeah, but like,
Dude, I swear I watched that so many times, and I remember you saying like that could have just been the cable from the headphones.
I know it's not the cable because we watched it and the cable was like
It's
nowhere
not. There's no
close.
way it could have made you think you were touched by something. And you said you thought you felt somebody like move, like walking around.
Yeah, I felt like the room was
It was
bouncing
weird.
a lot.
Yeah. So
Who freaking knows,
Yeah.
man?
it was odd. Not interesting. Odd.
And then I guess the only other thing that stood out to me, I'll go and talk about it, is we asked it. Well, you guys will know what this means later. We asked it if the person we were talking to was the one by the stairs, and then it immediately said, "Got me."
Got
Like
me.
that's so like, oh, you got me.
And then I asked, like, were you being like taunted to do that or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
And it said most.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So I think we might have definitely talked to whoever hanged themselves at the stairs. Yeah.
So yeah, that's one thing about the Beattie Mansion. I think that's probably the only like recorded like bad part about its history was that a girl committed suicide on one of the staircases. She had tied a bed sheet to her neck and to the banister, and jumped off. We talked about this I keep saying last week. Every episode is just going to be last week to me.
You can say that. It's cool.
We talked about this last week. And in our episode talking about ghosts and demons, what?
You made a funny noise.
I do that a lot.
I'm sorry. I'm in a mood right now. I'm going through something, okay?
It's just a phase, Mom.
It's not just a phase.
Who cares if it is?
Nobody.
Anyways, in our last episode, we talked about ghosts, and if we believe in them, which we don't, we believe they're demons. The Beattie Mansion gave very good evidence to that statement because I made a comment in that episode about like demons influencing you to do bad things, essentially.
Yeah.
So like suicides, while they're linked to a million different deals, a demon telling you to off yourself is definitely one of the top ones, I think. So that would just make sense. Like it backs up our theory of if we actually interacted with something, that it has to be a demon because of the suicide. And what happened by the staircase?
It's always funny that you'll watch paranormal investigations, ghost hunting videos, ghost hunting shows, whatever. And some of the craziest things happen when the camera's not on.
Man.
And there's no reason it should have been on. We were done. We were going to go back to the cool room. And so we were over there. Some of my emotions at the night, I was like super scared. And then I was like, okay, dude, like you're doing this, you need to own up. Like you need to face your fears. But then I was also like, there's all these stories of these ghosts here. Why aren't we getting like anything? This was before the Spirit Box. So keep that in mind.
True.
And so I was going through some stuff. I was going through something.
We all are.
And so I was in a weird spot. Anyway, we were going to go back and start dispute book session. And wow. So we had a flashlight up on top of like the second layer of the stairs going up to the top floor. And those are the stairs. The K2 also went off on those stairs.
That's right, it did.
Yes.
That's like the very top of it.
Yep.
I forgot about that.
That's interesting. And so
Ding.
I'm going up to grab the flashlight at the top of this, not the top of the stairs, up the stairs, and I hear a growl. I'll do exactly what I do in the video and do it a bunch of times. It sounded like, That wasn't as good as it should have been. But it was something like that, maybe a little bit more raspy. No, kind of. It was like a grunt growl. I can't wait to listen to this. I paid her. Goose go. Okay. Anyway, I heard that. I got super freaked out. I jumped down the stairs and ran. Levi thought I fell. I got pretty spooked. So those stairs, I don't want to ever go back to those stairs. Yeah, I do. I would. I remember that before we were over there, I was like talking to myself like, okay, you need to like stop being so scared and like just do things. Because if I wasn't in that headspace, I would have probably left because that was really scary. But I was like, okay, this happened. I got the flashlight, but we need to investigate this because I heard a growl. So I'm like, all right, let's go back up the stairs. And but I couldn't go all the way back up because I got pretty spooked. But yeah.
There was a really cool moment that we captured on video of like walking back over the stairs. You stopped and then you like, and then like walked up the stairs.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's it.
Dude, it's so crazy too. Some of the like, I remember in the trailer, we were over there when Marianne was talking about something. She was like, yeah, there's a suicide right at the top of the stairs. And where the camera was pointing was so perfect because then it cut back, it cut forward to when the camera turns back on.
The trailer.
And it's in it's like in the exact same spot. Thought it was super cool.
That was really cool.
And you hear like a because it like catches the end of my scream.
Right.
Dude, I got like goosebumps. You saw me jump down the stairs. I was super spooked. Yeah, if there's anything, if I ever doubt that there's like spirits or demons, ghosts, angels, whatever, that will always be a moment that will make me go, no, they are real. Because that wasn't a bear. It wasn't my stomach. It wasn't your stomach. It was like up the stairs.
See, that's what I was going to ask. Like, I know the answer to this, obviously. But like, I was going to ask, like, was it just a stair creaking, wood creaking?
Nope, no way. I know what creaky
I
stairs
didn't realize
sound
that you
like.
heard it up the stairs. I thought it was like right here, but it was like up the stairs.
I'm like walking up the
I'm
stairs.
getting freaking
yeah,
chills.
and I
Holy
go to
crap.
grab it, and like I hear it like imagine like those like 8D spatial like headphone audio things where like
No.
it'll be like somebody they'll make it to where it sounds like somebody's
yeah,
like
yeah.
knocking over
Uh-huh.
here. It was like that, so it was like up to my right.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I beat myself up. I shouldn't have because, well, I shouldn't because you said it, you made a comment about it of like that we had no reason to be recording. But like literally in the video, we were like, okay, let's grab our stuff and go do a spirit box session. I turned the camera off and immediately, like as I turned the camera off, you were walking out the stairs. And like 2 seconds later, you jumped back down. I was like, I can't believe I turned the camera
you
off.
turned it on so fast.
Yeah, because the light was still on, the
Yeah.
camera itself was still on. I just stopped recording. I wonder, like, I just wish that it was recording.
Because if we could hear it,
Yeah, because of the audio that we captured at the Wheeler Hole.
yes,
I wonder what if it were recording, if we would have captured anything.
yeah. Do you think whatever made that noise knew that you turned the camera off?
I don't know. I don't think so. This is a little bit of a segue, but
0 calories,
zero sweetener.
guilt-free, non-GMO.
A little bit of a segue, but not really, because I don't think it knew the camera was off. So my brother listened to our last episode where we were talking about ghosts, and we were playing Rocket League, and we were talking about it.
Ooh, that's
Awesome,
fun.
awesome moment.
I don't know why I talk like this.
Just playing Rocket League and talking about life and stuff, man.
Never done that
it's
before.
It's a great place.
Yeah.
But he made a good point. He asked a good question about something I've never thought of before, and he was like, and he wasn't judgmental or anything, but he was just asking stuff. He wasn't judgmental, but he was like, "Yeah, you and we don't think similarly about this," in such a loving way. But he was like, "So ghosts and demons, whatever. Like right now, they use the K2 meter and camera batteries to drain them to get their own energy to then respond to you and like make stuff happen. 100 years ago, what would ghosts do? Like, was paranormal investigating around back then when there wasn't electricity available everywhere for them to like draw energy from? if that is what happens and they exist and that's what they do. And I was like, that's a good question. I couldn't tell you.
Well, there's like energy from like the sun and stuff.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
rivers, strong rivers.
I think
Philip Rivers.
17 was his number, right? How many kids does he have?
He has 10 because with him he's the 11th full team. Don't say it.
That's funny. Yeah, I think whatever is out there can use energy from batteries and devices to maybe be stronger. I put quotes around that sort of because I don't really know, but I don't think that's necessary. I think they can kind of do whatever they want if they want to, maybe.
Yeah.
But then you think about places like the Sally House and what the Pikmin Deborah talks about is like there would be moments or like periods of time where like nothing was happening at all.
True.
And then activity would just start back up. So I don't know. I don't like, are they like hibernating and resting? I don't know. Or do they feed off of our fear? Yeah.
I don't think whatever growled knew that I turned off the camera.
Yeah.
Maybe it did. If it was a demon, they're sly and smart. Maybe it knew. I don't know, man.
Or maybe it was like, oh, they've moved on from this place. Maybe they like let their guard down. Who knows? I don't know. That's just a thought.
Kind of like whenever during spirit box sessions, we're like, all right, is there anything else you want to tell us? And like something happens.
I want your
You know?
body.
I want your body.
So what? Oh my gosh.
I love the spirit box. I want to do a lot with the spirit box all the time because it's so easy to use because you can have intelligent conversations. It's definitely it's directly related to that. Our best device, like we get our best content from spirit box sessions. Sometimes the only content in our videos is from our
Estes because like a lot of stuff just does. It's a lot of time just like sitting and talking.
Ghost hunting is boring.
It is. Don't do it. Ghosts aren't even real.
Right? What the heck are we even doing, man?
Oh my goodness.
So driving up to St. Joe,
Bro.
about it's 2.5 hours to Kansas City, 45 minutes ish north of KC is St. Joe, so solid 3.5 hours. None of that is matters
relevant
at all. Who gives a crap?
Normally when people start to do that, I go, so anyway.
Moving the conversation
I don't care.
along.
If I've done that to anybody, don't take it the wrong way. I just want to get to the meat and potatoes of the conversation.
Or the rice and beans of a conversation.
Thank you. I was just about to say that. Potatoes too.
Yeah, potatoes.
Vegetables, fruit.
We went to the Beattie
Beans.
Mansion in July of 2022. We went to the Sally House in like April 30th, May 1st, 2022. A couple months later. Atchison, Kansas is where the Sally House is. And Atchison is a solid like 25 minutes from St. Joe. It's just over the Kansas border and then into Kansas a little bit. So they are very close to each other. It's kind of a given that cities that are close to each other kind of look alike. And especially cities around that time, right next to the river, they were built and constructed the same way because of how business worked back then. The river was popular for stuff.
Like what?
I don't freaking know.
Trade?
I'm just kind of talking to hear my voice. Anyways, we got into St. Joseph, Missouri, and never mind. We got into St. Joe, and immediately I don't want to say an out-of-body experience. I felt like I was in a different world. Because we got into St. Joe and it looked exactly like Atchison. And we were driving up a hill and there were like super old buildings on either side. And it looked exactly like the street that the Sally House is on. You go through downtown, you drive on like this weird brick road. And then you go up this super big hill with old buildings on either side. And then you're in a neighborhood all of a sudden. And that's where the Sally House is. Like, I can't even put it into words how exactly St. Joe and where the Beattie Mansion is located looks like that. So I was freaked out. And not in like not to compare it to this by any means, but not like I just heard a growl, I'm freaked out. Like I thought, I don't even know what I was thinking. Like thinking back on it, like
I think a good way to explain it is like a panic attack.
yes.
It didn't feel real.
Yeah, I couldn't breathe.
I thought like, okay, like we had just spent so it was like 2.5 hours up to then like 45 minutes.
I hate my life so much.
We just spent a few hours driving and we're like, okay, we're doing this. Like we know what reality is. And we know we're going to this city. I've never been to St. Joseph before, that when we went, so I didn't know what to expect. But then we get there and it's like, wow, I feel like I've done this before. This is odd. And like, wow, this looks just like something we did like a few months ago. Wow. And I start questioning, like, is this real? Is this going on? Is this happening? What? And you know those movies and shows where like a kid's like, oh, I don't want summer to end. So they got to live the last day of summer over and over again. It was like,
Yeah.
is this about to happen? Are we going to just be constantly investigating this demonic house over and over again? It's just like, that's a way to put it, I feel like. Yeah.
I'm very glad that you feel the same way. We were recording for some of that.
Because, yeah, we were recording some of like
We
heading
always
up.
do like B-roll stuff.
Yeah, heading up to the mansion. And then we went and parked by the river and took 10 minutes to just breathe.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, because exactly. We found like this. I don't even. It wasn't even a parking lot. There's just a
It's just like underneath a bridge.
Under a bridge.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was gonna throw up. Like I couldn't breathe. I was tearing up. I thought I was getting sick. Like I had no idea what was happening. I was like, am I dying? Like what is happening right now? Because it was just so strange. Man, I want to go back and watch that footage now because I don't know. I don't think we were recording like right when we had that realization. Crazy. There's no way to describe it and do it justice because it derailed everything.
I was so ready, like, okay, let's do this. We're doing this. And then it was just like, it crumbled. Because it was
the
so
Sally house was so
spooky.
fresh.
Yeah.
Like it was 2.5 months after that. And we were still fresh off of the whole, like, we're glad we left the Sally house because I think if we stayed there longer, something bad would have happened. I got scratched there, had a headache, like all this other stuff. And I think it derailed it for me because the entire time I was thinking, I don't want to go back to the Sally house. Like I knew we were in St. Joe. I knew we were going to the Beattie Mansion, but I was so off put because I was like, I don't want to go back to the Sally house. Like I don't want to go to the Beattie Mansion because I don't want to go to the Sally house.
The Sally house, it looked like it literally should have been on the road. Like
Yeah, like the Beattie Mansion was on the left side.
Yeah.
It looked like the Sally house should have been right across the street.
Because across from the Sally house is like a big house.
Yeah, it's like it's not the McIntyre Villa, but it's like
No,
a freaking huge.
It's another big, just a
Yeah.
big house across the street.
No, like that's all I can think of is like I was freaking out because I didn't want to go back to the Sally house then. I think you and I should go back to the Sally house at some point. But 2.5 months after, when we were driving to
We were not
the
ready.
Sally house and it looked like we were going to the Sally house, I was like, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucked because as soon as we got to the Beattie Mansion, I was already spooked. You know, I get so hyped up when we go to places and I want to do all these things, and then we get in the moment, something happens, and I pee my pants, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do this. And I hate it. It's like I told you a couple weeks ago. It's like I started going to Buffalo Wild Wings and I got the mild sauce, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get mild sauce, and then eventually I'll build up a tolerance and work my way up the spice level. I never made it off of mild.
Mild's also good though. So
Mild's good.
Why would you have to?
Exactly. Don't have to. Maybe someday I can put on my big boy pants and do something at a
get
place.
medium?
Get what?
Get medium?
Get medium. So yeah, that sucked because we
gonna
were
be our
excited
quote.
going to the Beattie Mansion, and before we even got there, we were just distracted. I was distracted.
I agree. I also was spooked. I think I came out of it a little quicker than you did. I think also just like we were about to meet Marianne. She was like the first person to like host us
Yeah.
at a place because nobody did it at the Sally House, and we'd only investigated Nearly Famous and Weaver House. But we just met somebody who was like, yeah, here it is. Have
Here it is.
fun.
Leave the door unlocked when you leave.
Yeah, it's like, oh, thanks. So this was like our first host. I was like, all right, we need to like present ourselves.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, snap out of it. But then you asked Marianne about the Sally House.
Yeah. I don't have a good reason for this. I don't think we should say everything that she said.
Correct.
Okay. Cool. Good.
I think we might have mentioned it a little bit.
Yeah, we did in the like,
Sally
very
House
briefly
video. Yeah.
in the Beattie Mansion video.
Sally House video.
In the Sally House video.
Podcast.
Oh, podcast. You're right.
My bad.
Yeah. So our
That's on me, dog.
the caretaker Marianne. We asked her if there was anything like outright if she thinks there's anything outright evil in the Beattie Mansion, and she's like, no, I don't think so. And then we're like, okay, phew, because the last place we went, and then as soon as I said the last place we went, she said, where'd you guys go? Because I was gonna say the last place we went was pretty evil. So we're like, oh, we went to the Sally House, and then she like
Her demeanor changed.
yeah, like when our demeanor changed going up there, thinking about the Sally House, she was like, her entire demeanor changed. She's like, I've heard stories about that place, and I think that's all we put in the video.
Yeah.
Was that she's heard stories about the place, and then she told us a couple things that I would love to ask her more about, just selfishly.
Yeah, because she said
I don't want to record it or anything, but like selfishly, I want to know like her actual opinions because she didn't share her overall thoughts.
Just conclusions. She's
sorry.
Come to no. My foot was up here. Yours were down there chilling. That's on me, dog.
Probably because we were recording that entire time.
Yep.
So I kind of wish retrospectively like we should have stopped recording so she could talk. But yeah, she just shared a couple things, her opinions about that house, and it's interesting to think back on because it like oh that makes sense.
I do remember. I don't know if I mentioned it like that was weird to hear her say that about the Sally House, or maybe you were just like saying it, but like you didn't want to talk about it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you were just like, no, I don't want to talk about it.
That's right.
I was like, okay.
No, because it goes back to like
and spooky and weird.
Like when you like you're a kid and your mom makes you go to church or something. You're like, no, I don't want to go, and then you're like you're pouting and in a bad mood. I didn't want to go to the Sally House like the entire time. That, like I said earlier, if you know one thing about me, it's that I repeat myself a lot when I want to.
Huh?
I don't want to go to the Sally House. That entire time in St. Joe, I was like, I don't want to go to the Sally House.
Yeah.
So then I didn't want to talk about it.
I can't get comfortable. I mean, I am comfortable, but
you can't get there.
yeah, okay.
And I think I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want to spook myself out even more and then like make that night not happen. Because I think if I would have dwelled on it more, then I would have not wanted to investigate at all. What's the worst that could happen? That's what I keep telling myself when I get spooked out in these places. Like, what's the worst that could happen? So what?
But dude, our
you
minds
see a
are
shadow.
so powerful.
Big whoop, you saw a shadow. What's it gonna do to you?
Yeah, what would it do to you? It's a good question. I think nobody has ever, okay, I came to this conclusion years ago when I was at I don't remember where I was at, but a question was like what's like your biggest fear? And people are like coming up with all these answers and stuff. And I'm like, honestly, like this can all kind of go under this one thing. And it's like the unknown. Everybody's afraid of what they're not familiar with. And so we've never experienced some like really like, I mean, we have, of course we have, but we've never experienced, I guess, like seeing a shadow or like a little girl demon thing or whatever. So it's like, because we never experienced that, we don't know what's going to happen. And so it's scary. And going to a big place where we don't know anything that's in any of the rooms or any of the floors, that's scary.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess that kind of is not true too, because we had definitely been to the Sally House and it was still scary.
True.
Yeah, what that meant was like, yeah.
And nothing happened there. Like we got content and not like content, but like we captured stuff that we put in a video and we could connect the dots and draw a conclusion
Yeah.
from that. But nothing happened.
Yeah, I mean, there's
We
the
said
scratch.
it in the video.
But yeah, we didn't like see anything, hear anything. There was the spirit box stuff. The REM pod went off that one time by the basement. But it's like, truthfully, that's nothing to, as what folks would say around the Midwest, it's nothing to write home about.
Very true.
But I mean, we're like, okay, we're gonna make a video about this. So yeah, what is gonna happen if? I mean, your head always shoots to the worst thing, like, oh, I'm gonna get like pushed down the stairs or like possessed. I don't think. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I don't think I could get possessed being
Agreed.
a Christian, a follower of Jesus who has the Holy Spirit inside of him,
A temple.
whose soul it's his. It's secured forever.
And whose body is a temple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could I get crushed by a bookcase that gets pushed over? Yeah. Sweet. Let's go. But yeah, I don't think, and now people will also say, like, well, you shouldn't test it. You shouldn't mess with that stuff because you don't know. It's like, well, then you get into the, I don't know about this, so it's scary and I shouldn't mess with it. But it's like, I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe the truth that, like, my soul is forever saved.
Yeah.
So, like, no demon can take it.
I think there definitely is validity in people saying, "Oh, you shouldn't mess with that stuff." But like, I mean, it's not bad. Like, yeah, it's. How do I want to say this?
Dude, you're telling me because I don't know half the time when I open my mouth what's going to come out.
I love that. That's what we're doing here. It's not that we are like toying and like coaxing demons or whatever to like do something to us. We're whenever we go a place, our intentions are to find out what's there and why it's there. And if it's demonic, like a couple times that we think that we've interacted with a demon, then we just ask more questions. Like we're not like diving into it, and we're not doing rituals or messing with Ouija boards or pentagrams.
Pentagrams in the night sky. It's a lyric from a song.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we definitely should be careful. And I think we mentioned this in our episode about the Sally house, is that like, I think I'm glad we didn't go to the basement because we weren't ready for that.
Yeah.
We weren't ready for, not that the basement would have attacked us or whatever, but like our minds would have. We would have gone into the basement and we would have been scared, and if a demon is there, then it would have used that to, who knows?
Make our head hurt, make us throw up.
Yeah.
Physical harm.
Intrusive
I think physical
thoughts.
harm.
Oh, yeah.
Physical harm can definitely happen.
I'm getting chills.
Yeah.
And I think we said that in the Sally House video, is like where we're at right now.
Podcast.
Was it in the podcast?
I have no idea.
I think it was in the podcast. Like where we were at right then and there with our quote unquote skill level, like it would have been ill advised for us to linger there longer or go into the basement. So yeah, I mean, quote unquote messing with this stuff, I don't think there's anything bad with it. Like,
I think there's definitely
you
a
have to be
danger.
careful. Oh yeah, it's dangerous, and it's I don't want to say tempting, but like there's lures, and there's a fascination that you have to be careful with. Yeah.
Do you feel
I've
like
said a lot of stuff.
do you feel like you conveyed the emotions that you were feeling?
No.
Neither do I.
I never do.
Yeah, because I need to preface everything I ever say in my life with like, hey, like this might not be exactly what I mean, but I'm gonna try to explain how I feel.
Do you hate when people preface things when they talk to you?
No, because it's like context.
Fair enough.
It's like, this is where I'm coming from. And instead of just like out of the blue, like, yo, whatever.
Sure.
I can't come up with something. I mean, I could come up with something, but it could then be taken the wrong way without context. which is what a preface could be.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, do you think there was any? Oh, I'll answer this question too. Do you think there's anything demonic at the Beattie Mansion?
I don't know. Maybe. It goes back to, do you think we interacted with anything there?
Yes.
Then yes.
Okay.
But I hate that answer.
Yeah, it sucks. I think it sucks because it's taking a stance.
This is something else I told my brother. I was like, kind of like what I just said to you, I hate that answer because no. Okay.
Oh, he's adjusting.
No, I don't think there was a demon there.
Explain.
Because I hate, well, this is contradictory. I told my brother that I was like, I don't believe ghost exists.
Let me check my pulse.
I don't believe ghosts exist because according to our current belief structure, which is Christianity, demons and angels exist, and there is no in between. You die, you go to heaven or hell. There's no in between. That's our belief structure as it stands at this moment right now.
Yours.
Mine. Yeah, you're correct. No, 100% correct. You're correct. Excuse me. So that is my belief structure.
I'm so sorry. It came
No,
out like
that's
such
great because you're right. I should not assume, even though I think we share a lot of the same opinions about a lot of things, I should never assume that we have the same thing.
I'll let you finish. I just got really close to the microphone for that.
You didn't get close to it. You like moved it with your face.
I only say that because I'm not for sure what happens between dying and being in heaven.
Nobody does.
So that's why I said that.
I don't
But
know
everything else I agreed.
I don't know if demons and angels exist.
It's true.
I believe they do. Who freaking knows, dude?
That's everything takes faith.
Indeed.
Yes, sir. Everything.
So, according to my current belief structure, there's demons, angels, you die, go to heaven or hell, no in between. So, because of that, if A plus B equals C, then whatever the crap. You know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I got
because
a B in
I believe
geometry.
that. Nice. Because I believe that. I have to believe that ghosts don't exist. And in a field of hobbies such as ghost hunting, in such an unknown subject, my brain needs to have, okay, if A and B are true, then C is true. Like for me to not lose my freaking mind, I have to say out loud to make myself believe, if I believe that demons and angels exist only, then I have to believe that ghosts don't exist, which means that I have to believe that everything we interact with is a demon or an angel. That it has to be that way for me, because I can't, in an unknown topic area that I get spooked out in no matter where we go every single time without fail, I have to have a set, if this is true and this is true, then that means this is true. But I hate that. And we talked about this in our last episode, that maybe demons, they're not always actively straight up trying to take you away from the arms of God or whatever, but maybe there's like doing little things here and there to distract you from God to make you believe something else. Reasonable. I don't buy it. You like how we recorded this ghost episode like 2 weeks ago or whatever, and I am changing my opinions already?
You're human and you can change your mind on things.
I just don't buy it. You heard a growl. We had spirit box say stuff to us. I smelled cigarette smoke in the basement. The K2 went off in Eliza's chair. Sally House stuff going back and forth. I believe there's something there. I don't think it was a demon. But I don't believe in ghosts. So but it's just like, it has to be cut and dry, but it can't be cut and dry because it doesn't make sense. You know? Gosh.
Could it be a soul?
Like a trapped soul?
Sure.
there's a lot of
See what I did there?
there's a lot of
Sure.
great. There's a lot of people. There are a lot of ghost hunters, and especially mediums. That's they believe that's their job. I'm generalizing, but they believe that's their job. It is to help people cross over, is what they say. Like they're stuck in this plane of existence, and they need help crossing over to the other side. I don't know about any of this crap, man.
Yeah, let's preface this. We're not experts. We're just doing it and talking about it. So, yeah.
I feel good.
I followed you on that. I
This
understand.
is so good.
I understand where you're coming from because though I think a stance that we have is that a stance that I have is that I do think that it's all demons or angels, but I also since I don't know since I don't know what happens right after you die. And between like now and when Judgment Day comes and then new earth, new heaven and earth, whatever, when all that stuff happens, like I don't know what happens between like does time matter in the spiritual realm? Who knows? Like I don't know. So then maybe none of this even matters to think about because I don't know. But then all the people that are dead who do believe in Jesus, like what's going on? Like what are they doing? You know, like I don't know. So because I don't know exactly, I also think that we could interact with something that maybe could be like a spirit, and maybe like a person who is dead who like is just like waiting. But I don't think purgatory is real because I think that's a thing where people think that you like spend time trying to like earn salvation or something. Like what is it? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so yes, I understand what you're saying and I also follow, but I do think the Beattie Mansion is demonic. For the reason that you said demons aren't always out to just like scratch people and throw them across rooms, but they're trying to distract people from following Jesus and finding God, which is literally the exact same thing I just said twice. Mary Ann has like devoted her life to that place. I mean, we didn't really ask her about her thoughts on an afterlife, I guess. But my assumption...
I like that as a question that you have intentionally put in our investigations.
I think it's worth asking.
Oh, yeah.
So I could be drawing conclusions that aren't true because we don't know because we didn't ask her. But she seemed obsessed with that place. And she seemed like she devoted a lot of time to it. So that, in my eyes, she believes they're all ghosts and spirits, all from like throughout time. So like, I don't know what her thought process is necessarily, but to me, she didn't mention Jesus and she didn't mention God. Why do I say it like they're two different things? They are. They're can't comprehend it. They're the same. And the Holy Spirit. She didn't mention anything about Christianity, so to me, I assume that she isn't a Christian. Maybe she is. I don't know. We should have asked. Dang it! Now I don't think I can use this as like a reason for the place to be demonic. But I remember driving back, or maybe like the next day or whatever, I told you, I was like, I think this place is demonic because of how much it has like taken over her life. Yeah. I should have prefaced that with, I don't know what I'm talking about.
None of us do.
So
Don't know what we're talking about, but we're talking about what we know.
I think what just happened is I had a conclusion and I talked myself out of it. Because I didn't have 100% valid facts to use because I don't know Mary Ann's stance on Christianity. If you're not a Christian, like, you can still listen to us and watch this stuff. Like, I do care, like, what you believe in, but, like, if you don't, like, we can disagree on things and it's fine. I should mention that just in case anybody who isn't watches this.
Yeah.
Don't be turned off by our beliefs, just like I'm not turned off by yours. I don't like that I said turned off. Man, I just like to talk to hear myself talk
Keep
sometimes,
talking.
don't I?
Keep going.
Okay,
Say
so
something else.
yeah, whatever you believe in, like you can disagree on things and still have conversation about stuff. So, dang, dude.
0 sweetener, 0 calories.
Oh, what else does it say? It says something else. 0%, 0 sodium
0 sodium.
equals innocent.
I'm not saying this because for any like reassurance purposes or
Blessed assurance.
that it's like been I hate the word conviction, but like I'm not saying this because it's a conviction that I've had, but let me ask you this. So going back to the whole A plus B equals C thing, we believe demons and angels. The next part of that process is what? Since we believe in demons and angels, we then believe that. Never mind. Dang it. Okay. The next step in my mind is we believe in demons and angels, so therefore we don't believe that ghosts exist because there can't be an in-between thing, right? So therefore anything we interact with must be a demon or angel in a dumbed down version, I guess, or a simplified version. But why is that second point a point?
Here's the thing, dude. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really remember what we talked about last week.
Fair enough.
I do.
I'll tell you what we didn't talk about last week. And the question is, why did we put out there that we can't believe in ghosts because we believe in demons and angels?
I think.
Like, is believing in ghosts a sin?
I don't think so.
Me neither. Is it wrong to believe in ghosts when you also subscribe to Christianity?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think in the Christian world, they talk about, I don't really know what to call them, but like there's like the things that you have to like, yes, I agree. Like this is a true foundational belief of Christianity. Then there's like the secondary things. I feel like that would be a secondary, like a third thing.
Right.
Like you can totally believe that ghosts are real, but I don't think that can hinder any of like the foundational beliefs that you have personally. But I also haven't really done too much research on that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't mention any of this or it didn't come up, but I guess I do think that I do right now possibly stop hitting this. Think that there could be, because I don't know what happens right when you die. There's evidence for me watching people go to places like this and things happening, that there could be souls, which I guess you could call spirits or ghosts. I think right now, without having not been proven otherwise, that you don't go straight to heaven when you die. Because there's stuff in Revelation that has to take place before, or I don't know. I need to shut up because I don't know, dude. I don't know, dude. Here's what I do know, dude. Freaking
banana bread at work.
Banana bread at work, bro? Dude. Let me tell you what, man. Miss Kelsey, bro. She teaches social studies. What class was it? It was Miss I can't think of a chick's last name. Oh my gosh. Just like, dude, freaking Miss like Sampson, bro. She like pulled me out after class and she said, "Hey, you can't be throwing spit wads at people out your straws while we're taking our test." And I said, "But I don't want to take the test. Just let me spit my spit wads at people." She said, "Can't do that. I'm going to have to write you up." And I said, "Whatever." She's like, "Just get one thing of detention after school."
Are you quoting something or is this all natural, baby?
This is natural,
Okay.
buddy.
Let's put a pin in that.
That's what she said.
But also,
my teacher, my fake teacher I just made up.
but also the entire conversation we just had, and
We'll revisit it
we will definitely revisit
in
it.
another episode where we talk about that kind of stuff.
Last thing about the Beattie Mansion, specifically Marianne, she is a psychic medium and an empath. Psychics. What do you think? Do you think they are, for lack of a better way to describe it, do you think they're making it up? Do you think they are getting powers from demons? Kind of like how people, this is a bad comparison, but the only one I have, but like witches. They burned witches back then because they thought the witches got power from Satan and bad. Do you think psychics are along those same lines? Do you think they are just they're just like highly empathic, like they're very in tune with the vibes in the atmosphere around them, that they're making educated guesses that are good?
I think everybody has spiritual gifts of sorts, and that can look different for everybody. And I think that could possibly be being like how people are like sensitive to like other people, like they can like read people well, and they kind of like know when to maybe like press into conversations that maybe people need to have but like haven't like mentioned it, or like whatever. I feel like they can also do that if stuff in the spirit world exists. People can read that stuff and be familiar with it. I'm not, so at least not. Is that something you can like get used to?
Like a skill that you can learn?
Yeah, like you're able to read situations better and understand things,
I don't know.
and maybe like train yourself to like be more open to hearing that stuff. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yes, because I think it is a skill, and some people are naturally born with certain skills and are better at things than other people, and that's why we're all different. So yes,
like it.
I do think maybe some people could be dark necromantic wizards. Gosh. Sometimes when we're playing Rocket League or Call of Duty or whatever, I'll just... Anyway.
Yep. Sorry, I didn't know what to say.
You shouldn't say anything about that. Just like with... people can be manipulative in conversation to get people to do what they want them to do.
Sure.
They're taking a skill of communicating, but they're using it for wrong, evil, bad stuff. So just like that, I feel like people could use their psychic abilities. That sounds so weird to say. As like a bad thing. Have you ever seen The Vivitch?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know I have.
We watched it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't really remember it because...
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing... That sounds like something crazy was going on. But I mean, there was like stuff going on, but it needed to happen.
There was roommate turmoil.
Drama, yes.
With
don't say a name I have to bleep out.
inebriations.
Oh, gosh. But I only remember like the first like 10 minutes of that movie, and then the rest of it, I was just like, I don't even know what's going
It's
on.
M. Night Shyamalan, isn't it? Shyamalan? No, that's The Village.
Well, I did say The Vivitch.
The Vivitch, yeah. But I know what you're talking about because
Yeah.
it looks like it.
Anyway,
I'd like to watch it again because...
I did in October.
I obviously didn't watch it. Oh, that's right.
It was good.
I can't remember what you rated it.
I give like a...
Rated.
It was a 7 or an 8 something. I can't
Dang.
remember.
Nice.
Or maybe it was a 6 something. I've got the list, but I'm not going to look.
Yeah, psychics. It's an interesting topic because it's interesting. It's interesting because Marianne is obviously a fantastic person, and like she is great, and she has a great time doing what she's doing. So that's where it should end. Nothing else. Who freaking cares? Do what you want to do. If you're having a great time and you're not like actively hurting people, then who gives flip what you're doing. You know, that's kind of the whole world. We're really getting deep into it.
Dang, man. Call this 12-pack with Payton and Levi.
I can't wait. Holy moly.
12-pack of LaCroix?
Down. It's January. Dry January, baby.
No, baby. I don't like that you said that.
You said no, baby.
I said, but the can was kind of on my mouth and said, no, baby. It's like some trucker on the radio.
No, baby.
Oh, baby. I'm coming in to get my diesel.
Oh, no. Who am I?
I'm coming in to get my diesel. Oh, boy.
I got $7 per gallon.
I think we should save psychics for another topic of another episode.
Yeah. I don't think it's too relevant. It is relevant, sort of, to the Beattie Mansion.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a huge factor.
Right. But Marianne described it very perfectly, and I think mainly because she used the term empath. She's just very in tune with the spirits that are there. Yeah. Overall, it was a really cool place. It is relatively inexpensive compared to other places. Huge place, a lot of history there. I would like to go back.
Not in the summer. Do not go there
Like
in the middle of the
October,
summer.
March, something like that.
I think so. I think that'd be really
I
fun.
think it'd be cool to go back. And it's nice too because that place has bunk rooms so you can sleep. So if we did it on if we got there not at like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Which why did we do that? We were working, right?
I think we had to work.
Because yeah. But yeah, if we did it on a time where we'd get there right at the time that we had it reserved for, then we'd have more time to do stuff. We'd have more time to actually sleep. I'd like to bring some people with us because I
Yes.
love bringing people to investigations.
Yes.
Jack, perhaps.
Jackie Woo Woo.
Somebody did say in our YouTube comments that he needs more screen time. Not on this video, obviously, because he's not in the video. On the Wheeler Hole video, someone commented and was like, "Don't forget, give Jack more screen time." If you want more of Jack,
yeah,
then keep an eye out for your YouTube
should I
channel
keep looking just confused?
release here shortly.
I'm so happy Jack got people want Jack. I want more Jack. I want more Jack.
I was doing a promo for our next video,
yes.
our next investigation video.
Is Jack is there. It's gonna be good.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to our long ramblings of rambliness.
This one is a little bit longer than normal, but I think that's okay.
It's okay. We can cut it in two or not cut it
Not
in
going
two.
to. Who cares?
Going to. I like it. Who cares? If you're not listening, that's fine. This is great. This is free therapy. Therapy is expensive, and I just like talking.
BetterHelp.
Better help.
I've seen a ton of ads for it on YouTube videos and
really?
stuff. Like from people YouTubers in their videos.
Anyways, we're gonna have a couple polls. If you guys are listening to this on Spotify, answer those polls. Follow the podcast on Spotify. Give us a like. Ratings. You can do ratings on
You can
Spotify.
rate, yes.
On YouTube, please like and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts. Any topics you want us to pursue next, and keep an eye out because we got more stuff coming.
Share this with your friends too. I don't know. Maybe as a joke, dude, you're gonna love this, and they won't. Just do it. Make them go and listen to it. Hey, at that 57-minute mark, something crazy happens.
Yeah, be like, hey, if you have nothing to do for an hour and a half, listen to these two guys talk about stuff for an hour and a half.
And just circle about their beliefs for an hour.
And stay tuned for their next episode because they're going to change their opinions.
Most likely.
No, baby.
No.